This segment is brought to you by Ashley, the official furniture store of the Dallas Cowboys.
Welcome back into Cowboys OTs. The Cowboys have a big-time win on Thanksgiving, 45-10 over the Washington Commanders. John Madden always had the turkey legs for everybody after the game. We've got a one-on-one interview for you, and we've got one of our players of the game, Jonathan Hankins, joining us now. Jonathan, 2 sacks today. You were in the backfield quite a bit. Help set the tone at the line of scrimmage. What went right for you guys today?
Man, really just locking in on our keys, listen to all the prep we had during the week and just going out there and putting on display, and that's what we did today.
Now, even with your career, you've had a great one up to this point and continuing here with the Cowboys. I mean, what makes this Thanksgiving matchup different than some of the other matchups that you ever get a chance to play in?
Well, I think this is probably my second time playing on Thanksgiving. It's just a special moment, a special game to be honored to play during Thanksgiving, especially where everybody's watching, everybody back home. But to play for the Dallas Cowboys and get a victory like that and be one of the guys that, contribute to that, man, I'm just thankful. Thankful for the man above, and I'm thankful for my family.
Yeah, you certainly did contribute, and you contributed both in the first half and the second half, not only with the 2 sacks, but setting that line of scrimmage. But I want you to take me through the 2 sacks that you did have. What did you see on both of those plays, and what led you to being successful?
Really, this past 2 weeks, we've just been working on just getting constant push up the middle, just trying to, feed the pressure to the outside guys. And luckily, this game today, I was able to get it, the pressure to come straight to me. And, just happy and excited finally to pay it off. It's been a while since I got some sacks, but this should be a journey to get more. I'm not just a run stopper. I feel like I'm a football player to be able to do both. So I just got to continue to keep working.
No doubt about that. Now, because it's been quite some time since you had finished with a sack, did you have a celebration planned for whenever you did finally finish it off in the backfield?
Oh, yeah. Anytime I get a sack, I do my little Detroit dance that y'all see out there. Always representing the D, the 313. So, just showing love to where I'm from.
I love that. And, of course, on Thanksgiving, a lot of fun there. Now, we did see the other celebrations from the offense after the turkey legs and the kettle, and you got the dunk with CD. I mean, how would you grade their celebrations in the middle of a big win?
Oh, man, I give them all A's. I give all those guys credit to go out there and jump in that red bin. Big guy like me, it'd probably take a TV break for me to get in there, but I'll leave it up to the small guys.
We'll have to make sure that happens at some point down the line. We'll make sure we'll send it to break and we'll make it work from there. Final question before we let you go. You got another Thursday matchup against Seattle, a playoff caliber team. I mean, what's the mindset going into this regular week and going into that Thursday game?
We just really got to, dive back into the film, just kind of continue our process that we go throughout the week, and just continue to work and continue to grind and show up on Sunday. Well, obviously it's going to be Thursday, but just show up for the game and continue to do what we've been doing, and I think everything else will take care of itself.
Jonathan Hankins joining us here on Cowboys OT. Jonathan, congratulations on the win. Congrats on the success. Go enjoy some turkey and some family time.
Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. There he goes. Jonathan Hankins joining us post-game after a 45-10 win. The Cowboys take down the Washington Commanders. When we come back, we're going to hear from head coach Mike McCarthy. He takes to the podium, talks about this win for the Cowboys as they sit at 8-3. Still a long way to go in this race for the NFC East.
This segment was brought to you by Ashley, the official furniture store of the Dallas Cowboys.
Welcome back into Cowboys OT. 45-10, the final score. Let's hear from head coach Mike McCarthy as he takes the podium at AT&T Stadium.
Well, I just want to say, first, the players did an excellent job on a short week. I was very pleased with the preparation coming in, and it's always nice when you have a good week of prep and obviously you go out and perform. So, it's just like anything. It's the complementary football formula. These guys are, bought in and just stay after the little things. We'll have some things that we'll need to correct. That's usually the case. But just really, I'm really proud of the way they finished. They did a good job with the ball control offense. Remind me similar to the game plan up in Kansas City in 21. Something Dan and I talked about earlier in the week. But offensively, we took some shots early, didn't hit them, and we just stayed the course and was able to get the ball in the end zone. So, and I thought special teams was neutral, but it was another excellent home win for us.
I'm Mike Todd with ESPN. When Daron's bringing another one back, what are you doing?
What am I doing? I'd like to tell you I had something to do with it, but I have absolutely nothing. But man, what an incredible! Just what an incredible play. What he's done in such a short time in his career, and he's such a humble young man. And I think if you could just see, I hope you saw it on the sidelines and you felt it. Just the reaction itself is, something I'll never forget. Obviously it was NFL history, but and in reaction when he came in the locker room. So I think that tells you, it speaks volumes about how people feel how everybody feels about him as a man. But man, he's he sees it and gets it, and the return was as good as I've seen.
I believe you're the coordinator in New Orleans when Joe pulled out the phone underneath.
Why in God's name are you bringing that up?
What do you make of the turkey leg celebration?
Oh, the turkey leg?
Yeah.
Well, when Jerry's in the locker room before the game, speaking on it, and it was all for it. So I just told him, hey, that game better be well out of hand before we start pulling turkey nuggets out of a kettle can. That was a little different pregame for me. But no, it's a great win. Great home win. And really, I can't thank the fans enough. I thought they brought it today. Just from I love it when those towels are going. It was just what a great atmosphere. Just the whole day, obviously, and what's most important, Thanksgiving. So.
Mike, Elwin Henderson-Gilmore here. Obviously, Dak just continues to improve week by week, and tremendous stats again today.
Yes, definitely. I think the situational football really stood out. The clutch throws, particularly attacking the end zone. But we just got to keep chugging. Keep ponding away. The run game. So that's something that you always look at and want to improve on. But I think the benefits of moving him, and particularly the red zone, and the gold zone, and some of the situational calls, I thought he was incredible.
Newey Scruggs, NBC5, you spoke about Bland and just the reaction that he got here in the locker room. Can you speak more about that? And also just when Bland basically took over for Diggs, that was a tough moment for this team, and he's raised his level there to be.
Oh, no doubt. It's great to see Trayvon in there, and another man that carries tremendous respect, in our locker room. But it's about opportunity, and it's what you have to have in this league. It's the unfortunate part of this game. You see it every week. So I hopefully we look relatively healthy coming out, which is probably the most important statistic next to winning. So yes, Daron is just from every opportunity he's given, he's just been so steady, so professional for a young man, and then just his playmaking ability is special.
So he's talking there about Daron Bland and the history made there. We're going to hear from Daron in the next segment, so we'll wait on that. But one thing that Mike McCarthy's doing is making history with his ball club, and the fact that they've won 13 straight games at home. Nate, it's been a long time since you've won that many games in a row at your own place. What has gone into this big win streak?
Just preparation. Those guys preparing themselves every week. You heard Coach say that, buying into this right here. That means that each individual player is taking his iPad or whatever it is and taking it home, looking at it, doing extra. And when you know where you're at in your division and within the conference, you know you have to do these type things. And these players are taking the responsibility among themselves to be the best they can. And our fans, they know football and they get hyped for it.
Yeah, I'm going to kind of piggyback off of that. You talking about the preparation. I'm going to say the accountability. You know, these guys are doing what they need to do in order to be successful. You know, they're going and they're doing the studying. They're getting the proper game plans from the coaching staff. The scouting department's doing what they're supposed to do. The players are going home and doing their homework, watching the film, applying the game plan on the practice field. And then also, what are they doing? They're taking care of their bodies, right? So they're becoming available. They're making sure that everybody's accountable and available for these particular games. And then, again, what do they have to do? They have to look at each other in the eye and be able to communicate to each other that, hey, I got your back. You have my back. There's no hard feelings. There's no egos involved with this. Let's go out here and make sure we take care of our assignments.
And they certainly have. 13 straight games. That is an incredible streak and something that they're going to look to continue next Thursday against Seattle. But we know what you want to hear from, or who you want to hear from. It's Daron Bland. He sets NFL history with his 5th pick 6 of the NFL season. Unbelievable run for DB. We'll hear from him right after this. Five pick 6s for Daron Bland. You've probably already heard he's broken NFL record with that 5th one of the season, but he also has 7 interceptions, an incredible mark for a second-year player that was drafted in the 5th round and wasn't even a combine invite. Let's hear from Daron Bland right after the win.
5 pick 6s. You got the record. How you feel?
Great, especially on this day, just to be another thing to be thankful for.
What was going through your mind after you intercepted the ball and just trying to run it back? And what were you thinking?
Just go. Just go. I was like, well, actually, it was my perfect one just to show my teammates the return skills. That's what they said. They seen all the pick 6s now. They said they got to see one with some return skills. So hopefully I showed them. So.
You talked about just jubilant reception from your teammates on the sideline. It took you forever to even get back to the bench.
Oh. I could even celebrate after they picked me up, put me in the pot. So, it's just great just have that energy from your teammates. So it means a lot.
Did you think, were you afraid that you might get tackled there at the end?
Yeah, a little bit, but got to get in the end zone. I wasn't going to be denied on that one.
Did you not have the Salvation Army kettle celebration planned ahead of time?
No. Well, I was supposed to get in the pot by myself, but they picked me up, so it messed me all up.
What does it mean, just as far as your story goes? Young California boy, Sacramento State, Fresno State. You're not coming from a Power 5 school and anything. To be able to do what you're doing at a rate that literally no one has ever done in the NFL.
I mean, it means a lot. That was one of my biggest things. Just show the kids back home, like, if you could do it. Whatever it is you put your mind to, you can do it.
We heard a pretty loud roar from the locker room when you walked in.
Yeah. Oh, man, great. I didn't even see nobody yet. All I heard was a roar, so it felt good just have the teammates just bring that energy and just congratulate me on that.
When you had the break on the ball, what was going through your head?
Yeah, definitely. I was like, I got to go get this one. I felt like I was kind of close. I was like, I didn't want him to bat the ball down, so I was like, let me just go and try to cut in front of him, go get it.
Thanksgiving, it's a big national primetime game.
Oh, it means everything. My family's here, so it's good to break the record in front of them. So.
And in order to do that, and it helped the Cowboys go to a 13-game home win streak and 2 wins in 4 days.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how key was it to help you guys do that? Try to keep pace with the
definitely. Next week got another Thursday game, so it means a lot just to keep this momentum going, even on the short week.
How much has the environment environment played a product in your success with, Stephon on the other side, Trayvon in your ear maybe, and Al Harris, all those guys?
I mean, it's everything. It's a lot. It's just a lot to learn from. You got Al, who's been 13-year vet, and then you got Gilly, who was another 10-year vet, and then you got Trey, who interception guys. So. Oh, no, come on. We got our own. It was good, too.
Daron Bland. I mean, what else can you say about the season that he's having? Another interception, another touchdown on the pick six, and he had another pass defended there, too. It's almost like you could take our segment last week when we heard from Daron Bland and just replay it, because it's the same conversation. Should he be in the Defensive Player of the Year conversation?
I think he's got to be in the Defensive MVP conversation now. I mean, you're talking about breaking NFL records defensively, taking the most pick sixes back in one season, and he's only in his second year. I mean, look, I got to give an unbelievable amount of credit to Daron Bland, but I also got to give some credit to Al Harris and Joe Witt Jr., because this is a guy who, in my opinion, talking about Daron Bland, is extremely coachable. If you look at it in college, he only had 5 interceptions throughout his entire college career. You get to the National Football League, he's got, 11 or 12?
The only guy that you can compare him to in terms of NFL Defensive Player of the Year would be Myles Garrett. Yeah, Myles Garrett has 13.5 sacks, okay? 13 sacks. The NFL record for sacks is 22.5. Mm-hmm. So he has a ways to go. Oh, yeah. Daron Bland has already broken the NFL record in terms of interceptions returned for a touchdown. He has 7 on the year, 4 now returned for, was it 5?
5. Yeah.
No disrespect, y'all.
Don't lose count. Okay?
I'm on last week. Sorry, it's too many to count. All right, now his 7 on the year, okay, 5 ran back for touchdowns. He's already broken the record. Myles Garrett still has a long ways to go. So if you want to talk about Defensive Player of the Year, who else can you put in front of him right now? I wait.
And when you look at it, what makes more of an impact, in your opinion, Isaiah? Sacking the quarterback on 3rd down, or picking the football and taking it back and getting points for your team?
Touchdowns.
I mean,
touchdowns.
It's uncomparable to me.
You talk about comparing, and if you want to throw that out there, right now, if you're talking Daron Bland as a receiver, he would be in the top 15 of receiving touchdowns. In the NFL, top 15, to be tied for 13th with guys like Travis Kelce, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jacoby Myers, George Kittle, Christian McCaffrey, Dalton Schultz, Gabe Davis, Adam Thielen. I could keep going. Devontae Adams is below him on that list. TJ Hawkinson below him. Devontae Smith below him. It's incredible what he's been doing, but we've got to move on and continue talking about this 45-10 win for the Cowboys. When we come back, we're going to hear from Tony Pollard. TP found the end zone again, got rolling on the ground a bit as a rusher and as a receiver. We'll talk about Tony Pollard next. Welcome back to Cowboys OT. Cowboys 45, Washington Commanders 10 here in this Thanksgiving Day showdown. I'm Kyle Yeomans. Let's hear from Tony Pollard. Found the end zone again. Dallas still trying to get that run game going and utilize their franchise tagged weapon.
Happy Thanksgiving.
How'd it feel to get a win that big on Thanksgiving in front of all Americans?
It was huge, especially against a division opponent, building that momentum going into the season. So, yeah, it was a big win for us.
What did you think of the moves of Daron Bland on that return? Did you get a good look at him?
Man, only thing I can see, he's different. That's the only way I can explain it. 5 touchdowns on defense, that's crazy. Like, what he's doing is unheard of.
How do you feel about the running game right now? It seems to be progressing every game for the last few weeks.
Yeah, I feel like lately, we've been getting the rhythm in the run game, being efficient and everything that we've been called and getting the most out of it. So I feel like we're trending towards the right direction.
You feel a large part of that it comes from continuity with the front 5 and how many, they're getting more and more reps as the weeks go on?
Yeah, just being out there with that same group, over time, just growing together, learning each other's ways and tendencies, and then just learning.
Do you think maybe going to a little bit more zone scheme in the run game has helped as well?
I would say just our execution, and everything that we've been doing. Just fine-tuning the details of everything, making sure we're on the same page and just going out execute.
Did you get your hands on one of the turkey legs that Turpin pulled out of the kettle?
He threw me one, but I dropped it. I thought it was a hot dog at first, but I realized when he pulled it out, I need to go get one of those, man.
3 games in 12 days, back-to-back wins in that still. Got Seattle coming up. How y'all feeling emotionally and physically during that run?
Physically, I'm feeling pretty good. We're ready to go, locked in, ready for the next opponent, and just taking it one day at a time. It's just big, growing up as a kid, going over families' houses, watching the games, making a big deal. Everybody's picking sides who they're cheering for, and now, being on that stage, going out there, being able to play. So it's just a surreal moment, actually.
19 touches for Tony Pollard, over 100 yards from scrimmage. There's his 13 carries to go along with the 6 receptions for 24 yards. Had the long of 27. There were times in this game, Barry, that it looked like Tony Pollard, that's supposed to be the franchise tag, Tony Pollard, put his foot in the ground, got upfield, was able to carry a couple defenders. What did you like from TP today?
Look, I loved what I've seen from him when you talk about how they used him as a running back out there. Not just slamming him up in the front of in between the tackles and centers and guards. They were reaching on those outsides. They were getting those outside runs with Tony Pollard, and that's what he does great. He's a speed guy. He doesn't need to be up in the trenches battling with the Giants down there. Let him on the edge. Let him use that speed, and he could become a home run threat. And I love the 19 touches, 13 rushes, 6 receptions back there. That's how they need to use this guy. When things are cloudy in the back end, we've seen in the past where Dak Prescott would try to force something in there. Might be intercepted. This time he says, you know what, everything's covered back there. CD's kind of locked up over there. Cooks is kind of locked up over there. Let me dump this thing off to Tony Pollard and let him get busy out there. And that's exactly what they were able to do to the Commanders out there. That's what I love to see from Tony Pollard because he's a multi-weapon out there, not just a rushing running back. He can receive out the backfield as well.
Well, it's nice to know that you got a fantasy football player that works for you, right?
He does. He gets me right.
I've always said this guy is that type of guy. We put a tag on him, and now we think he should tote the ball 30 times, 22 times. I think he should touch the ball no more than 22 times. You can see through his body language that this kid is happy with where he's at. He see that they're going to start feeding him a little bit more. They're going to start passing him the ball a little bit more. And you can just see how he moves and how he talks after the game. He feels more relieved. With Rico Dottle helping him, getting a touch of the other kids in there every now and then, this is the guy that you will see as long as they use him the right way. It's not the quantity, it's the quality in which you use this guy.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And the effectiveness was there from Tony Pollard. Over 6 yards per tote today. He was running the rock pretty well for this Dallas offense. Who was throwing it pretty well? It was Dak Prescott. Another 300-plus yard game. He had 4 touchdowns on Thanksgiving. We'll talk to QB1 next. Starting to become the norm that Dak Prescott puts together 300-plus yard passing games, but 22 of 32, very efficient. 331 and 4 touchdowns, tying his career high and continuing to put up big-time numbers. Career high on the holiday, I should say. 4 touchdowns for Dak Prescott today. Let's hear from Dak after the win.
I don't know that I could just put my finger right on and say this is the why. As much as I've talked about new system, new play calling, we know what we want to do. You know what I mean? We know how we want to attack. We know how we want to go at these different teams. We're running plays that we've ran for since the spring. You know what I mean? Dressing them up different ways, giving different approach, comfortable, and honestly, credit to the offensive line. I think that's where it starts. The way that they're protecting.
giving me time to take shots down the field, allowing me to extend plays, whether it be use my feet, extend plays, make plays down the field again after breaking the pocket. Guys are running to win, and we're just he's flying them off the call sheet, and it feels good.
Clarence Hill for Star Telegram. The turkey on the sideline, how did that come about? And have you ever done that?
This group over here, Scott and this group. Team effort, team idea. And we talked about it. It was probably a 2-3 day long process of, whether it be a 15 yards, whether coach would accept it. And I'll tell you, I actually go talk to coach before every game, and sure enough, I called him as he was talking to Jerry, and so I mentioned it, and of course Jerry liked it. So, at that point, my direction was just make sure we're up and the game was in hand. And so the touchdown, 2 CD, and then following 2-point conversion, if you watch, I'm kind of like, is it time? Can we do it? I'm like, no, we'll get another one. And sure enough, right after the one to Terp, was like, let's go for it. And it was good.
That speaks to the confidence you guys have in yourself and the way you're playing.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it goes again to the preparation that we put into this thing. Obviously, I mean, we feel good about what we've got. We feel good about the players that we have, the plays that we're going to call, the matchup, the film study we've had, the preparation, the game plan. Credit these coaches week in and week out. And, they're dialing up things and putting playmakers in their best position. And, it's confidence, you know what I mean? And simple as that. Yeah, we understand we're going to be in there. We had them. It's not like we had them in just that end zone. They were in every bucket. Defense, Daron could have got one himself when he jumped in the other bucket. He was just probably stepping on him. But, we plan to be there. And I think that says a lot, too, though, when you plan, whether it be a touchdown celebration, kettle celebration. It's a mindset. And I think that's important for us to have those expectations of getting in the end zone and understanding that we'll get back in there.
The expectation has become a reality for Dak Prescott, one of the leaders not only in touchdown-interception ratio, but touchdowns in general. 22 of 32 today. He was uber efficient, continues to put up big numbers against teams that, of course, you would like to see those big numbers against. It's not like Washington came in highly vaulted on defense, but what did you feel about Dak Prescott's play today?
Man, he's just playing nice. I mean, Isaiah says it all the time. He alerts us during the game, bad decision, good decision. And I've been hearing more good decisions from Isaiah as the game's go on. Dak is playing with a high confidence right now. He's moving around. He only rushed one time today for 10 yards, and that's the Dak that I like, a Dak that moves around. He's helping his offensive line tremendously, and if need be, he can help with the run game. Dak, just keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, I think it just comes down to decision making for me. He's been making really good decisions over the past really 4 to 5 weeks. He's doing a good job of just, again, taking the play and going on to the next one. If he has to take a sack, which he hasn't had for a few weeks, he just pulls it back down and goes on to the next play. If he has a bad ball, he's able to dust it off, slap his guy in the butt, and keep on going. And what you're seeing out of him now is you're starting to find out what balls he likes to throw. He likes to throw the over route, whether it's Turpin, CeeDee Lamb, or Brandon Cooks. Or right now he's starting to find that seam route. And he's like his big boy tight ends, whether it's Schoonmaker or Ferguson, going right down the seam. If you want to go single high against Dak, good luck because he's going to pick you apart.
He has been doing that, and you can see the confidence growing. I mean, even that last question from Dak about the hiding the turkey legs in the kettle and showing the confidence that we're going to find the end zone again. What have you seen confidence-wise in Dak this year?
Yeah, he looks like a quarterback who's settling into his new offense.
Yeah.
And that's what people continue to forget. He's been running with
Kellen Moore?
Yeah, Kellen Moore over the past few years. And now, even though Coach McCarthy has been the head coach, he wasn't the one calling the plays. Now Coach McCarthy has brought his system in. He went ahead and instilled that in the spring. And then you go to training camp, and it starts looking good, and you start seeing exactly what their game plans are. And then the regular season approaches, and then real life happens. Defensive coordinators are actually calling plays against you. You're not scheming it up. You're not drawing it on scout cards like it does in training camp, and you have to make adjustments. You have to figure out what your personnel does because now you're actually being physical. Can my guys hit? Can my guys get down there in short splits? How fast are my guys versus certain coverages? Who has a good feel for the zone coverages? All these things have to get figured out, and that's what you saw happen in the first half of that season. But now what are you starting to see? That confidence come along. Why? Because guys are confident in their assignments. Guys are running the same type of routes over and again, just out of different formations and alignments. The offensive linemen are getting more time together, so their blocking schemes are getting better. Dak's having more time, no pressures, no sacks. Terrence Steele had a bad game, came back, he responded perfectly ever since, right? Justifying why he got the big payday. So a lot of big things are starting to happen, and now you're starting to see Tony Pollard get the rock. Finally, now you're going to start to see a whole nother aspect of this offense that you haven't seen in the first 10 games.
And one thing you can say with great confidence is they're not playing down to the level of their opponents. They are playing they play at a consistent level all the way through the third quarter. Then all of a sudden the fourth quarter had that explosion. That is the type team that's trying to be. They're playing through these teams. We got Seattle, your people. Mm-hmm. We got Seattle. We coming.
Yeah. Ooh, okay, Deion. I see you. I see you.
Okay, we'll sprinkle in there at the end. I like it. I mean, that's a good point because you can't help who's on the opposite side of the line of scrimmage. 3 winnable games for the Cowboys. They won all 3, and they won all 3 pretty convincingly over these last 3 weeks. And if that's not any indication, I don't know what is, that Kellen Moore is now just a thought of the past for this Dallas offense. That's kind of what it's been looking like as they keep moving in the right direction. We continue in the right direction as well when we come back. We hear from a combination I don't think you anticipated. CeeDee Lamb and Jonathan Hankins on Cowboys OT. Cowboys OT rolls on from the start in Frisco as the Cowboys take down the Commanders 45-10. I'm Kyle Yeomans. Glad you're with us here on this Thanksgiving Day. Hope your family enjoyed it all the way through. I know Cowboys Nation very happy after a big-time win over the Commanders. They are now 9-2 on Thanksgiving Day against Washington Commanders. Commanders now 4-9, all 9 of those losses, of course, at the hands of the Dallas Cowboys. And the one today is both offensive and defensive-minded. Guys like Dak Prescott, Kevontae Turpin, Brandon Cooks, and CeeDee Lamb got involved with Jonathan Hankins, who we heard from a little bit earlier. It was interesting, the post-game reaction, post-game press conference shows just how cohesive this team is. And a good example of that is CeeDee Lamb doing his post-game press conference with Jonathan Hankins.
Jonathan, first of all, happy Thanksgiving, fellas.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Jonathan, first question for you. 2 sacks in this game. It's been a while since you've been able to get your hands on the court.
Yeah.
How does that feel?
Oh, I feel amazing, man. It just goes to show you how much work I put in, and I'm thankful for today. Today's Thanksgiving. Now I get a chance to actually eat, so it's going to be a good night.
If Coach Madden were still here, you'd probably have a turducken drumstick on the field.
I'm sure if he was still here, I would definitely be out there. But I leave that to the little guys. I leave it to the little guys.
Did you know in real time that you were able to get both of your feet down for that 2-point conversion?
I did. Just a lot of practice, a lot of repetition, preparation, got me ready for the moment. And then, Dak delivered a great ball. I just had to do my job.
Can you talk about the preparation on the celebration with the red kettle? How long y'all been working on that or talking about it pregame?
Honestly, we knew we wanted to do something with it. We just couldn't decide on what it was. So just went with the basic alley-oop, you know what I'm saying? Turk did the extreme. He hopped in, got the turkey leg, and you know what I'm saying? That was kind of planned, but grateful to do that.
Hey, did you get your hands on one of those turkey legs that Turpin pulled out of the field?
Oh, no, not yet. I'll wait till I get home to get on that.
A question from either one of you, both of you. How important is it to get, second win in 4 games, knowing, who you have coming in, Seahawks, and then, of course, you got the Eagles after that?
It's always huge to win at home, definitely to defend at home. But as we go through this process, man, every game is important. So you can't never look past one game or one team.
Piggybacking off that, man, just taking it 1 week at a time, prepping for, whoever's up next. And obviously next Thursday we got Seattle. We're going to focus on them, and then we'll get to whoever's after that, after the game. He's very instinctive. Obviously, at that position, you got to be very reactive, and he's trusting his process and what Al's teaching him. He's getting the right pointers. He's delivering.
How much does his environment make a difference too? Playing with Stephon, having Trayvon in his ear, all the stuff that he has around him.
You add Trayvon's skill set with Gilly Smart's. I mean, you're bound for greatness, right? So just keeping them in a room, obviously battling against each other internally. And keeping it friendly, man. Just going out, seeing who can get the most picks, who can do this, who can do that. And obviously it's showing and it's working in our favor. Shout out DB for making history, though. That's it. Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving, y'all.
CeeDee Lamb even giving flowers to Daron Bland for the NFL record-breaking pick six today. CeeDee Lamb himself is one of just 13 players in the NFL that has more touchdowns off of a reception. I know it doesn't count in the category than what Daron Bland has done with his 5 pick sixes. CeeDee Lamb with his 6th touchdown of the year today in the 45-10 win over Washington. And when we come back on Cowboys OT, we'll tie a bow on this Thanksgiving victory and put you ahead and put the gas pedal to the metal going into Thursday night football against the Seattle Seahawks right after this.
The Cowboys OT was brought to you by Sleep Number, the official sleep and wellness partner of the Dallas Cowboys, and by Blockchain.com. Make your crypto play today.
AT&T Stadium was rocking in Week 12 with a 45-10 win against the Washington Commanders. Their 7th win this season for the Cowboys with 20 or more point differential in their favor, tied for the most in franchise history. It's another big-time win, and the Cowboys are 8-3 on the NFL season. We've got Barry Church, Nate Newton, Isaiah Stanback. I'm Kyle Yeomans wrapping up Cowboys OT. Barry, now you move into, it's a full week of work, but it's just an off week because you've got Thursday to Thursday action. Third game in 12 days is never easy. How do they get the dub again going up against Seattle?
Well, to me, it's all about rest. And I feel like Mike McCarthy understands that. And he will have, once again, it lined out for this team where you're going to get a lot of mental reps. You're going to get a lot of walkthroughs in there. They may sprinkle in a full pad practice here and there, but it's all about rest when you have that many games in this short amount of time. So Mike McCarthy, no matter what the situation, coming off a bye, after taking a loss, it doesn't matter. He's going to have his team ready to go. And I don't see anything changing going against Seattle this week.
I agree with you 100% there, Barry. It's going to be about health. It's going to be about taking care of one another, making sure that we know what to do. It's about your leadership, making sure that they're telling everybody out there when they're leaving and coming in, where's your iPad? I need to see you looking at your iPad. The coaches are going to be telling them, study your plays. You're going to do it. We're going to do this thing mentally. This is what he started about 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, I think it's going to not only be about health, but it's also going to come down to preparation. And obviously Seattle is going to be a level up in terms of competition of what you've been facing these past 3 weeks. So you have to be able to go out there and study and see exactly what those threats are. Prepare yourself mentally as you prepare yourself physically to get ready for that competition, because this is the part of your season where things really start ramping up. So you have to make sure that you're mentally prepared for all that, for that run.
Yeah, really, this is a Cowboys team that it doesn't get easier as it goes. You've got Seattle, Philadelphia, Buffalo, Miami, Detroit in a row. That's the next 6 games for the Dallas Cowboys. Next 5 games. I'm bad at math. And then you've got the Commanders right there at the end of the season. Doesn't get easier for the Cowboys. What area do you want to see them improve upon if they're going to have some success here in these final 6?
Well, defensively, I just want to see them improve on that run-stopping ability. We saw a little bit of it last week. This week, once again, these guys are getting better and better as we progress. Mozzie Smith, once again, showed he to have another good game out there. Hankins as well. If those guys can continue to elevate their game throughout this season, when the time comes right, they'll be ready to go.
I'm echoing what you said, Barry. It's offensive defensive line play. We will go as far as our offensive defensive line allow us.
I think you have to cut down on the penalties. Still too many penalties. I know nobody's going to talk about it because it was a blowout, but you had 7 penalties for another 48 yards. That has to start dwindling down as you get to these better teams.
Hey, and you're playing at home, so hopefully there's a chance to improve upon that. This Thursday, Seattle Seahawks. It's a 7 o'clock kickoff. We'll be out there at the stadium, AT&T Stadium, 6 p.m. Central Time. Cowboys pregame live. Come say hi in the AT&T East Plaza. We'll be out there and ready to go. For Barry, Nate, Isaiah, happy Thanksgiving. Cowboys get the win.